back in the day, right? I know in the drug game, especially they like Hollywood like to put this in movies too.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm gonna be the man, if I'm gonna become the man, then I got to get rid of all the rest of the drug dealers around here, so everybody come get it from me. Could you say like the music game was kind of the same back then, kind of cutthroat, and maybe record label owners felt like them making too much noise, so they got to go, type shit.
I would say so, bro. I would definitely say so to a certain extent. During this time, I never realized it, but as I got older, I finally realized it. You remember Big Rufus, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Big Rufus, when Big Rufus got out of jail, for some reason, Big Rufus latched on to me more than anybody. And later on, I started referring to Rufus as like my pops.
Rufus and Tech relationship was a lot closer than me and Rufus, Yellow and Rufus. You know what I'm saying? Tech was actually, he used to call himself Lil Rufus, really. You know, Rufus used to call Tech his son.
But man, it come to find out they sent Big Rufus at me to put me on dope. Big Rufus was the first person to give me help. My first time meeting Big Rufus was because it was Mac Melf Callio album, and we was shooting a video in the circle in the Magnolia, and Big Rufus walked through the courtway with his jail bag. He just had got out of jail, literally.
When Rufus came home, we was shooting Mac Melf Callio video in the circle of the Magnolia Project. Before we could get there, Rufus was already there.
I guess Birdman was too busy to go pick him up, so he got there. However, he got there, but he come walking through the courtway, still with a white T-shirt on, jogging pants, and some tennis shoes, and his jail bag.
He had his bag from prison, all his letters and all that shit with him, still with his regular clothes that he had to change from coming home from the prison in.
That was my very first time laying eyes on Big Rufus. And later on, I learned that that was Big Rufus' job to keep me on him, because I always was the one to ask all the questions, and me and y'all would connect. And we would want to. Me and y'all wanted to be like Birdman and Slim. We looked up to them. We wanted to be them. So we started trying to make moves so we can have our own company, but they didn't want that. They wanted us to stay underneath them. And back in the game, a old gangster, that's what he would do. Get his people locked in on dope so they can control them. And as a youngster, I didn't understand that, because a lot of times, they would everybody will be catching rides with this person, but it was always Rufus was in charge of making sure I was right. And once me and Rufus get together, it's always me and him getting high. And I was like, damn. So that's what the whole play was. You feel me? But that was the first person that, yeah.
If it's safe to ask, and only if it's safe to say, bro, how do you confirm that? How do you know that's what that was, and it wasn't just
Because them
that he liked
two,
you like
them
that?
them two were so close, and he knew what was going on, and he knew that Rufus was introducing me to dope, and he did nothing to stop it. And at that point, when a person first get introduced to a drug, and if they like it, then they gonna keep going back to that same thing. The same thing that happened with all us. I remember back in the game, me and Yellow giving BG help. You feel what I'm saying? And you don't think about what you was doing at that time. You was like, most people be like, I ain't gonna tell him that. That's what he won't do. That's what he won't do. But that's who we was as youngsters. We just was ignorant and didn't give a fuck. You feel what I'm saying? And like I said, I knew that was his job, because the minute that we would get paid or whatever, they would always pair me off with Rufus, and they knew what he was doing. That's why Rufus couldn't never um go reach his full potential. If you notice, they would always they tried their best with Big Rufus, but he would always, go back and be getting high. And that's nothing to take
What
away from
what did
Rufus,
Rufus
because
do?
like I said, that's my pops. I look at him like a pops.
Was he a rapper?
Nah, Rufus just was a very close associated, and they called themselves cousins. I don't know if that was true or not.
Baby, introduced him to us as his cousin. We always heard that they was related some kind of way. I don't know how they were related, but that's how he was introduced to us.
Rufus was somebody that Slim and Birdman respected and always had around.
Big Roof is always in the cut. Whatever you need, nigga. Rich gang don't bang. Fuck if you hate. Bop.
Even though he was the first person to give me help, he didn't put a pistol to my head and make me do it. Rufus also protected me a lot. I remember we was going through the lawsuit, and we was in federal court downtown New Orleans. And I'm going through the hallway. They in one room with their lawyer, we in another room with our lawyer, and I had to go to the restroom. And as I'm going to the restroom, I got to pass by their room, and Big Rufus was right there. And he just winked his eye to him like, "Yeah, get your fucking money. Get your fucking money, son."
Baby and Slim or Birdman and Slim will be gone maybe to Houston somewhere, whatever. We got a show 2 days later. They ain't gonna be back. We need shoes and outfits and shit for the concert. Rufus gonna make sure all that shit get taken care of. And the funny part, he gonna get in touch with Baby. He gonna get in touch with Baby, blow on beat. Hey, Baby, bitch, you know them dude need woo.
Birdman owed me some money, and he would play the "don't answer the phone, don't call you back after you beep him" type shit. And he had moved out of the house he was in, and he was ducked off somewhere, and nobody knew where it was. And Big Rufus come got me and be like, "Man, come on, fuck that. I'm gonna bring you to get your money." And he brought me to this house where he thought he was ducked off at. Man, that was mad in the motherfucker. They say, "God damn, Rufus, why you bring this to my house?" You feel me? Because he nobody ain't know where he was at. He was ducked off.
Rufus would actually go to bat for us like he was the manager. You know what I'm saying? He was our main manager.
Got my blood Rufus. He type of nigga. He wanted every dollar straight, every 100 line the right way. So I said, if you want it like that.
I put the blame on Birdman and them because they knew what he was doing, and that's why they paired me up with them. You feel what I'm saying? Because once we got so aggressive and start asking questions and said, "Fuck that, we're gonna book our own show because they stealing our show money and this, that, and the other," I think that's when the plan to get us out the way and start something else started anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because we were too much like them. You wasn't about to control us and little boy us and kiss us and all this old whole ass shit. You couldn't do that because we already was little men. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Right. I'm right. You say kiss us.
Yeah, we ain't about to do that. I'm from where you from, Wayne. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But that's another story if that's your biological. I don't give a fuck. This man had a biological father. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't that attached to a motherfucker where you just want to kiss him in the mouth
Right.
publicly. You
Right.
know?
Man. I hated to see. I don't even want to talk about him leaving yet. Man, God bless my dude's soul, bro. I know Tech was locked up when Rufus died. Tech was fucked up when he found out about Rufus getting, was dying and shit, man. He didn't get murdered. No, thank God he wasn't murdered. I really don't know the what happened to his death, what happened to him, how he died. I really don't understand. I really don't know.
Say, what was UNLV was hot? Was Stone around?
Uh no, Stone. I don't remember Stone like that when we was hot, but I knew of him from seeing him in the projects and stuff like that. But you
Okay.
know, we didn't
That
have
was where I was
Stone
going.
them. They didn't have no Cash Money affiliation. Put it like that
Okay.
at that time.
But where I was going was Stone a fan? Was Stone a UNLV fan?
I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't, we represented the Magnolia, the Melphamine, and the Callio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure that alone made him a fan because we would draw attention from all of the hardcore killers and gangsters because we would put their names in our music. You know what I'm saying? And put a highlight on them. And before you know it, that's one of the main reasons how I get caught up in the streets because these people I'm talking about, you know, Meatball and all these guys who really out there popping shit. You know, we putting their names in records, and now when they see us, they were like, "What's up, little UNLV? What's up, little Tech?" And now, you know, I can go to them and get free dope and this, that, and the other. And
Hey,
now
Tech, wait.
I'm
Wait, you talking about the real meatball from the Calio?
yeah, you know, we put all their names in songs. You feel what I'm
So,
saying?
damn, so you knew them like you, so y'all not knew
Not
them, knowing, but
know
you,
them like that. It just the fact that their name was ringing, right?
right.
So we making these songs and we letting the rest of the world know who what kind of gangsters we got. So once we put their names in songs, that takes their name from being uptown legends to now the whole Louisiana, Florida, Atlanta, everybody hearing their name. So they want to draw themselves and attach themselves to us, you know. Nathan and all these guys that we putting in songs, and they will see us in the streets and pull up on us, and that would be a lot of times. That's would be how I first meet these dudes because they'll pull up and want to see who these dudes is that putting our names in songs and got us shining like this. You know what I'm saying? We making them look like
Say Tech,
superstars. We had Levi name, and I remember this would transpire from that. I remember Levi came hollered at us, and I don't know who it was that was living in the Melbourne. Somebody kin to him was living on Clio side. And this was during Mac Melf Callio time. So he had a birthday party and he called us back there and popped us off and paid us to come rap. He had a block party right there. And man, that we locked in with probably one of the most wanted motherfuckers that was in the city at that time. You know what I'm saying? Levi's name was ringing for pulling off shit, people trying to kill him, this, that, and the other. And once we was finished, he was like, man, y'all hold up, little UNLV. I'm gonna make sure y'all good, y'all safe. I guess he didn't know I'm from back there, so I get a pass automatically. You know what I'm saying? So Levi go inside and grab a big old long ass chopper and walked us back to our car. You know, we had to walk through that big courtway to the driveway where the cars be parked at on the Errata side
right.
in the middle. You know how you that middle, then you walk through and you on the courtyard side of Clio. So that's where the party was at. And he walked us to our car and it was like, God damn. So our legend grew even larger just to see somebody who was respected as Levi, you know, with the long chopper and walk us through the courtway to our cars, you know. So now when we going through that, people automatically affiliate us like, man, they good, you know, that this fuck with him or that fuck with him. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What about love from No Limit, like No Limit cats, like the C Murders and the Silks and stuff like that? Did they ever give they ever give you your flowers, saying that you know you kind of raised them as well?
Out of everybody at No Limit, uh, well, you know, Slim, that was the homie.
Mm-hmm.
Serve on, we grew up together. Serve on is a little older than me, but Serve on, when I moved out to Melf on the 6 and B, Servon was already living around there. So I was like 2910 Baron, and his house was maybe 4 houses to the left of me. So we knew each other real good. But I would say see Murder was like one of the closest. You know, we did some. I did a video, "Mama Don't Cry," and see Murder was really. He still had the ankle monitor on and everything, and see Murder came out and did the video with me. Later on, he wrote a book, and I went out to support him with his book at his book signing. And after he was locked up, I don't know what was going on at that time, but he wasn't doing too good. And he had some broad, I don't know the chick name. She was from Baton Rouge though, but he had her like doing some footwork for him, and we did a concert in Baton Rouge, and we gave all the money to see, just put on his books or do whatever he needed to do with it. I don't know exactly what he needed to do with it, but we definitely, and that can be confirmed like by my little homie, Jay Lyric, because Jay Lyric used to, come fuck with us with a lot of shit. We was trying to help him break through. And a lot of times we would let Jay Lyric come and open up or do whatever. He'd just come fuck with us just for the experience. But that's somebody who could stamp this story. We definitely wind up doing a benefit show for him. And, all the money that we took out was like for a hotel. And that was it. And we gave all the rest of the money to him.
Boy, that's some big
So
dog shit right there.
to answer the question, I would say I was C more than anything.
If you didn't already know, Tec9's got a new YouTube page called Off the Porch Remix. Make sure you go and subscribe.